Looks like nobody's actually in for the city in terms of the park, but the park is still open, so that's kind of nice. So gonna go back there. We're gonna take a look at how the field is. We kind of have a plan for what we want to do for the track, but we're gonna test it out today, make sure it actually works. If it doesn't work, then we're going to have to figure out a different solution. That's the reason why we're out here, just making sure that everything's going to be good, and then we'll be ready. Alright, so we're out here right now. We just started, and what I can tell you is that the guys out there are having a fun time trying to figure out feet, meters, and yards. So while they're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and start building gates. It looks like it's going to be a great day out. It's really started off really cloudy, very rainy, but the sun came out. Sky is blue. Looks like it's going to be really nice. Alright, so I think we're almost about ready right now. We're just kind of putting up the finishing touches on it. Gonna check out the backside of this, make sure everything's cool, and then we can get started. Looks like we got a pretty good turnout. This is only a practice day, and we already learned a lot. We learned where to put the track and where not to put the track. We originally wanted to put it close to the building. Doesn't look like that's gonna happen, so we're gonna have to put it further away, which kind of sucks, which means it's going to be further to walk for people, but it is what it is. Going to go ahead and get this practice started, make sure everything runs smoothly, and we'll be ready for the New Albany Drone Festival with a MultiGP Qualifier. Alrighty, so it's about 4:30 and we just got rained out. So we got done with the qualifier and everything looks pretty good. A lot of people ran a lot of packs. I think some people ran somewhere from 8 to 12 packs. So we're doing pretty well for ourselves. It was a really good day. I think now that I've gotten a chance to see the racing of the qualifying match, I have a new respect for how people are getting 7 to 8 laps. That's pretty amazing. We had some pretty fast guys out here and they were having a tough time getting to that 7th lap. There were a few chances in which they could have gotten to the 7 laps, but they still didn't make it. And you know, repeatedly they were saying that you almost have to be perfect on every one of your laps in order to get to that 7th lap. And to get to 8 laps, that sounds pretty crazy. So having seen that, I have a newfound respect for how hard it is and also how precise that they have to be through the S and also the slalom and, you know, all of that stuff. It's actually a pretty amazing track. I think everybody liked that track. It was really good. So really comes down to right now is how many people practice and how hard they can actually work at it to get to that 7 and 8 laps. I'm not sure if there's going to be many people that can get to 8, to be honest with you. 7, I think that's going to be elite. 8 is going to be like super special. One of the worst things about drone racing, especially when it gets wet, is that you're going to have to dry everything out. So I'm definitely going to have to be back here to pretty much put everything out that's still wet so that it can dry out. Otherwise they're just gonna get bad, and yeah, that would be bad. Mold is bad. Alright, just got everything unloaded. There's definitely a lot of things that still need to dry, so I'm definitely gonna have to get over here before noon, set it out in the sun while the sun's on this side of the building so that I can dry it out. I also need to do gate repairs. That's probably something that most people don't see, but like once you actually have an event, a lot of these gates that are covered in foam, you need to actually retape them, otherwise they're just going to get so beat up you're going to have to rip off the whole thing and buy a new set. It's just easier to buy the extra tape and then just repair them so that they last for a couple of years, and then eventually you probably will need to replace them because they do get tore up pretty well for almost any event. So that's something I'm going to have to do come Monday as well. So more work to do, but I think I'm gonna set everything inside and I'm gonna call it a day early because I'm tired. It's been a long day. Time to relax a little bit. Alrighty, it's Memorial Day. It's the next day. I'm out here drying out all of the things that we used during the practice qualifier. As you can see, all the flags are out. Very easy letting it dry. And then we have the gates and the poles over here. You always need to dry out things, otherwise they stay wet, especially the flags. I will say though, for the qualifier, it's really tough on the flags. Since everybody's really pushing for better times, what you're seeing is a lot more people are hitting flags than they normally do. And the only problem with rips on flags is that once the rip starts, it pretty much never stops growing because the wind will start tearing at it, and eventually the flags will pretty much need to be thrown away. You can't see them while they're laying out there, but there's quite a few rips on all of the flags now because of the qualifier. A few of them are actually more ripped than the other ones because certain areas of the track you can tell are harder on flags because they have to fly in between them. But yeah, just want to show a quick example of what a gate looks like when it comes back from a race. So if you actually look, sometimes you can actually see, if you track where the gates are placed, where pilots are struggling. This gate right here was actually put on the first turn when people are going down the slalom and they're basically ripping as fast as they can. And if they don't swing into that gate correctly, what they'll do is they'll actually catch the outside of this gate and you can tell like this is actually a blade hit and they're basically full tilt and they'll catch going into that swing. And these are the damages that come from it. So pretty much every single time we get back from an event, we have to do pretty much an inspection and repairs on this, because if I let this go, then this will just get chewed up and I would have to replace the whole foam thing again, and that would just be a pain in the ass. So it actually takes a lot of time, as you can tell. You know, every single time we come back, we have to inspect everything. We have to make sure, you know, the things that are damaged gets thrown away. We have to do repairs. People think that it's crazy to spend like an hour or two doing this, but like literally it does take that long if you want your equipment to last.